Hello and welcome to a yoga class that I'm calling Movement of Love. Right now in Nowhere Village, we are focusing on an inquiry practice where we're really examining our values. We're examining what it is that is most important here in this world and in this lifetime, and looking at our practices as a way to show up for what matters most. And in a sense, this is the most important spiritual question that there is. And I remember having a really big awakening around through this question. Really, my teacher basically was asking me about what mattered to me and what my values were, and it started to really shift the way that I approached my practice. And what I want to share with you and the way that we approach our movement practice today and over the next couple of weeks, and really any time that you work with me, I hope to be able to be expressing from the very, very deep wisdom that I learned from my teacher as I did this practice. What shifted for me is once I started to see why I was really showing up for my practice, I started to feel like something bigger was moving through me and like I was a part of something bigger. And I realized that it was the beginning of a really seismic shift from feeling like I was the kind of controller of my own spiritual practice and of my development to being more in collaboration with forces that are bigger than the personal self, the small self, Aaron, who has a beginning, middle, and end. And when we start to think about it this way, we see that something bigger brought you here, right? Every single time you show up for your practice, something brought you here. And we could call that love, right? Care, some kind of yearning. And when we show up and do the practice, if healing happens, if you feel better afterwards, what did the healing? Your personality, or was there something else? We'd call that movement of healing love. Anytime we have an aha moment that we call an awakening, anytime we go, oh, I get something now that I didn't get before. Right? That's revelation. That's the enlightenment journey. Every single time, what enlightens us? What allows that revelation to happen? And so we'll see that everything that we're seeking here, there's almost this sort of silent under the surface mover that's bringing us along this journey and making it all possible. And so whether this week you're trying to show up to your practice, you're trying to show up to a protest, you're trying to show up for work or for a loved one, I invite you to ask yourself why. What's moving me? Why does this matter? And as we get in touch with what matters, that movement becomes stronger and we allow it to do its work, and we get to start to go along for the spiritual journey, a collaborator with love, and not the one who's trying to make it all happen. We're gonna begin with some massage work today. And so I ask that you have a little massage ball here handy. And if you don't, you can just lie on your back and listen. Here. You can just lie on your back and listen to my instructions and do it without the ball, meaning you're just going to basically lie on your back and concentrate in the same area of the back. If you have the ball, you're going to pin the ball onto the ground behind your shoulder blade. You can choose either side. You could also come to the wall and pin the ball against the wall instead. We're just going to do about 1.5 minutes on each side of the shoulder. It's not a crazy long time, but if any of these practices feel good, you can always pick them up again after. So lying back on the ball, or maybe just lying on your back and finding a comfortable position for your shoulders, and choosing one of your shoulders to really focus your attention and breathe in and out of. And I want you to notice the feeling of breath, the feeling of your attention, connecting with the sensations in the shoulder. You can totally roll around. You can even, some people like to move the arm that's connected to the ball a little bit, all fine. Just go very, very slowly. And the most important thing is this sensation is calling the attention of your mind, and your mind is responding by being present. The breath will deeply connect the two. Last breath cycle or two, and maybe you're letting the breath go out of the mouth, like you're just draining that shoulder of toxins. And whenever you feel ready, you're gonna switch sides. Take your time. Breathe deeply. And allow the mind now to fully commit itself to this shoulder, right? Now this shoulder gets the full attention of the mind and the breath. And one of the inspirations for naming these couple of weeks, the yoga classes are all called Movement of Love, is my teacher says attention is a movement of love. And so every single time that you breathe in and out of that shoulder, every single time you become present again in your practice, that is an act of love. Big full breaths. Last few on this side of the shoulders. And then once you feel wrapped up here, you're going to go ahead and move the ball off to the side so that it's out of the way. And then I want you to go ahead and take your right hand onto your left arm. Okay, you're still on your back. Your feet should be on the ground. Bring your feet actually wide apart and let your knees fall together. Okay. And then take your right hand onto your left arm, kind of from underneath, and pull the left arm across the body. So you should be feeling a stretch, the left arm. Now, optional, let your knees fall over to the left, and maybe let your head turn to the right. And breathe in and out of the left arm, the left shoulder, breathe in and out of the hips, legs. The mind goes where the body calls. Then come back up to center and switch sides. So right hand should go kind of underneath and gripping onto the right arm. Yeah, left hand under right arm. And you'll pull that over to one side. The knees can come back up to center if they were over to one side, and now flop them over to the right if you're doing the floppy legs, and you may not want to, it may not feel good. And then the head can turn all the way over toward the left, toward the same direction that the right arm is being pulled. And then animate the whole experience with your breath. And make your way back on up, nice and slow. We're going to do a little core work on the back with the blocks. So first, you
you're going to use 2 blocks for this, and if you don't have them, you're just going to do the same exercise without them. 1 block is going to go between your hands, have that nearby. The other block is going to go between your shins. So some people might choose to sit up to position the block. I'm just going to bring my legs up in the air. I'm lazy. Put my legs up in the air, and I'm going to squeeze the block between my shins. Now I'll show you from this angle, but I've got my block this kind of second width. You can play around with the width. It doesn't matter that much, but this is the one that feels like it locks in the best. So you can check that out. And then once you've got the block between your shins, go ahead and put your feet flat back on the ground, okay? And then push into your feet and squeeze that block. Take the other block between your hands the widest way. And then bring the arms up overhead. Okay. Now from here, the upper body does something and the lower body does something. What the upper body does, I want to stay very small at first, but you can grow it after, okay? So try this with me. Squeeze the block between your hands and start to lift the arms up. So keep the tension right between the hands, keep the integrity of the arms. And then as the arms come toward the legs, tuck your chin a lot and then come up to a teensy crunch and then come back down. Let's just do the upper body one more time. And so the arms come up. I really want the awareness of the connection between the shoulders and the arms that come all the way up and tuck your chin. And you may come up a little bit off the ground, but not a lot. Okay, the arms end up back overhead, the block flat on the ground above your head. And now here's the legs, really simple. Engage your belly, squeeze that block, and just lift it up and straighten the legs back up into the air, still squeezing the block. And then touch the toe tips down, and then the heels down, and come up. Exhale and do your little crunch. The hands come toward the knees, little crunch, and then come back down. Inhale. Pick up your legs, extend the legs, exhale. Replace the feet, inhale. Arms up toward your knees, tuck your chin, a little crunch, exhale. Lay back down, arms up. Squeezing the block between the hands as you breathe in, and then as you breathe out, lifting the legs up. Breathe all the way out like you're breathing through the heels. And then touch the toes back down as you breathe all the way in, let the feet land completely. Then come up, arms first, then chin tucked, and then crunch. Lay back down, take a big in-breath, arms up alongside your ears. And then pick up the toes, pick up the knees, straighten the legs, finish your exhale. And then replace the toes, replace the heels. We'll do one more set. Come up with the arms, tuck your chin, and do a little crunch. Lay back down, arms alongside your ears as you breathe all the way into your lungs. And then lift up the legs, push the breath out of the mouth and the feet, and then touch the toes back down, then the heels down as you breathe in. Now you're going to take your blocks off to the side, and you're going to come all the way up into a child's pose. And once you arrive in child's pose, take some deep breaths, and I want you to feel for yourself the power of the energy that's moving through you. Connect to a sense of care, whatever care is that brought you to your practice today. And if love or care aren't words that really resonate with you, ditch them. I don't care about the word, right? This energy is so much more ancient than any words. But if you can be able to keep returning to the feeling of care inside, you're starting to get in touch with that spiritual substance, that universal substance that runs through all things. Now come on up
And you can either sit up on your shins, or if you feel more comfortable cross-legged, you can be cross-legged. I'm more interested in what's happening with the upper body next. Take your left hand over to the left and your right arm alongside the ear, or you can mirror me, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna do both sides. And then first I want you to just take this top arm and I want you to cross it down, like it wants to reach toward and past the opposite hand toward the ground. You're gonna let it go down and then off to the side. And we're gonna make a circle, okay? And I want you to really notice about what all is involved with this circle. So I want you to see, can you kind of tuck your chin as the arm comes down, and then it comes out, can you sort of open up your right side of your chest? And then again, so it's like almost like cats and cows, almost right here. This is like cat spine almost. And then you start to open the front of the chest and the shoulder blades come together on the back. Do that one more time. And I've got us doing a lot of this movement early on that is really just about attention. It's about attention and integrity. Great, and then you're just gonna do the other side. It's the same exact thing, same kind of lean over to that side, pull the opposite arm alongside the ear and get the big stretch through the elongated side. But then you start to experiment just really slowly. If the arm passes in front of your face and the hands come down toward the opposite hand, you kind of tuck your chin and see what stretches there. And then as you bring it wide, what can open. And so it's not just an arm moving, but the shoulders are involved, the head is involved. And we can learn a lot by isolating parts of the body. We can also learn a lot by allowing parts of the body to collaborate and seeing what happens, seeing what moves. And then go ahead and come back up to sit. Take your hands forward onto the mat in front of you, tuck your toes under, and come to downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And pedal out your feet and do the kind of stuff you want to do. And then go ahead and glide on forward to plank pose. And once you come into plank pose, can you be really clear about how the shoulders plug into the arms? Can you feel the back of the neck really long and actually let your heart almost sink toward the ground a little bit without letting your butt sink? So you've got a little bit more of the natural curves of your spine. Take a big inhale and then downward dog, big old exhale. Take a little walk forward until you end up in a standing forward fold at the very front of your yoga mat, and a little space between the feet can be nice. If your hands want some extra connection, maybe blocks are under the hands. Check out what's going on in the neck spine, the very top of the spine where it connects to your skull, and that whole area between your skull and your shoulders. And can you breathe extra breath into those spaces between the vertebrae? And then go ahead and let your attention travel toward the mid-back, all that space between your shoulders and mid-back. Can you make more space in between the vertebrae there? And between the mid-back and the hips, can you make more space there? Until finally roll on up. And once you come up, we're actually going to shake a little bit today. And so this, just want a little bit of a wide stance, right hand, feet under knees, under hips. And then you're just going to allow your knees, I'll show you sideways a little bit too. I'm just kind of a little soft in my knees, soft in my hips, soft in my shoulders. And then I'm just going to bounce a little bit. And after all the rolling and the stretching of the shoulders and the arms, just invite extra space there, which the jostling can help create.
And then if you want to add in shaking your hands and your wrists, you can do that. Okay, and then if you want to add shaking over to one side a little bit and maybe even kind of slumping a little that side and just see what that does, what that frees up, what the feeling is. Stay breathing, and then try the other side. So shake it over to one side, other side, and kind of slump a little bit, see if it just can go. Come back to center and go ahead and do the hands a lot more now. A little bit more. And then stop. Come to stillness, and just however you feel comfortable standing is fine, but close your eyes and feel the energy in your hands and your feet. Feel the energy where you feel it, where your body says, hello, energy here. And then go ahead and bring your big toes to touch. You're gonna hook your thumbs in front. We're gonna do a few moon salutations here. The light might be better over here. Let's see. Okay, so you're gonna hook your thumbs and you're gonna reach your arms straight in front of you. Breathe in and reach up. Then bend your knees, put your belly on your thighs, interlace your fingers behind your back, and then straighten your legs. Arms drop overhead. Skiers pose, so sit your hips back, squeeze your inner legs together, look a little forward on the floor. Step your left foot back as you breathe out and lower your left knee to the ground. Hook your thumbs, inhale, reach up and out of the hips as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, take your hands down, sit back for runner's stretch. You're gonna sit your hips back, extend your right leg, flex your foot, then fold over your right leg and breathe. 5 breaths here. Breathing for 1. Feel your right leg. You're welcome, of course, to have blocks under your hands. Breathe 2. Allow the love moving through you to do the work. Your only job is to witness it, to hold space for it, to be present for it. You don't have to manufacture love. You belong to it, right? And it's just been here way longer than we have. Okay, you're gonna start to come back forward into a low lunge and then step back into plank pose. From plank pose, you're welcome to do a full chaturanga, or if you'd rather do knees, chest, and chin, at this point you can do that. Gliding the heart forward and up as you breathe in for cobra or upward dog. And then downward dog as you breathe out. Take big breaths in downward facing dog. Two more. And then looking forward, you can step or hop your feet forward between your hands. As you inhale, lengthen your spine, lift the chest. As you exhale, fold down into your legs. Hook your thumbs, bend your knees. Reach the arms forward and up. Breathe and press the feet into the ground, lift the heart. And then come right back forward. Bend your knees, belly on your thighs, and interlace your fingers behind your back. Straighten your legs, drop your head. Skiers pose, inhale, lift the chest, sit the hips back. Then step the right foot way back and lower the knee. Hook your thumbs, big breath in, reach up and out of the hips. And then take the hands down, sit your hips back, extend the front leg and flex the left foot. Fold over your left leg and breathe 5 breath cycles. For 1. Breathe. 2. 3. Just allow yourself to be present. Your attention will be called lovingly to the space that needs it. Big exhale. Start to come forward through a low lunge, stepping back into a plank pose and then taking your form of a vinyasa as you breathe out. As you breathe in, as you breathe out, everyone returning to downward dog. Breathe in, really plug into the earth through your hands and your feet. Really plug into the sky through the lifted hips. Allow the movement of breath to be a stand-in for the movement of love, right? It's something that we can feel. It's tangible. It's still subtle, but we can feel it if we take the time to actually pay attention in our practice. Looking forward, you could step or hop your feet lightly between your hands, lengthening the spine as you arrive there and folding down into the legs as you breathe out. Bend your knees, hook thumbs in front of you. Reach up, rise up, grow very tall at the top of the shape. And then go right back in. So belly under your thighs, interlace your fingers behind your back, drop head, straight legs. Skiers pose, sit the hips back, lift the chest, look a little forward on the floor. Step your left foot back and lower the left knee to the ground. Hook your thumbs and big breath in as you reach up and out of the hips. Just like we did before, runner's stretch. So hands come down, extend the front leg, flex the foot and fold. Exhaling. Now as you inhale, come through the low lunge as we did, but this time shift the weight forward into your front foot. Pick up your back leg, standing split. As you breathe out, fold deeply over your right leg, point the top toes, stay for 5 breaths. As always, maybe those blocks want to go under the hands. Breathe 1. Breathe deeply. 2. 3. 4. Exhale, 5. Now you're going to look at the floor and let your left foot land on the earth. Warrior 1, get really sturdy through your feet first, and kind of scoop the energy up from the earth, come all the way up. Option to take this variation with the fingers interlaced behind the base of your skull for Virabhadrasana 1. So if you've got that variation, it's like you're lifting up the skull a little bit and widening the elbows, making more space for your heart to shine. Breathe for 3. The legs are strong. 4. Exhale, 5. Okay, from here, we're actually just going to spin off the back heel. You're going to step the left foot forward next to the right foot and simply take the arms out, wide, and down. Hook thumbs in front. Scoop the arms up, big breath in. And then exhale, bend the knees, put the belly on the thighs, interlace the fingers behind the back, straighten the legs, and drop the head. Inhale, skiers pose, so lift the chest, sit the hips back and low. Then step your right foot back and lower the right knee to the planet. Hook your thumbs and inhale, reach up and out of the hips. Exhale, take the hands down. Sit back, runner's stretch, extending the front leg, flexing the foot and folding. Coming forward through a low lunge. Lift up the right leg, lift up the heart, and then dive down over your left leg. Point the top toes, stay here and breathe for 1. Breathe deeply. 2. Breathe for 3. 4. Exhale for 5. Watch as the right foot lands for warrior 1. Pushing the floor away with your feet and rising up with the arms. And then your choice, but it might feel nice to take the hands to the base of the skull kind of almost like I'm gently kind of squeezing with my palms, but you don't have to squeeze. I do want you to lift up the skull. Press into the feet. The hips are really nice and square. Both feet are pressing into the earth. The belly is engaged. The hips are almost feeling like they're kind of hanging from the shoulders. 3. Breathe. 4. Can you feel the movement of care? Can you feel the movement of life is really all I'm saying. 5. Now spin off the back heel, so it's just to ease this transition as we step forward. Right foot ends up next to the left foot, and the arms can go wide and down. Hook your thumbs, inhale, reach up. We're going to tie all that together now and add on a bit. Bend the knees, belly on your thighs, interlace your fingers behind your back and drop your head. Skier's pose, sit the hips back and down, look a little forward on the floor. Step your left foot back as you breathe out, lower the knee. Engage your belly, hook your thumbs, and big inhale as you reach up. Then take the hands down, sit back your hips, extend the front leg, flex the foot, fold, breathe out. Breathing in, come forward through low lunge. Pick up the back leg, pick up the chest. Standing split as you breathe out, fold into your right leg and drop your head. Warrior 1, land the left foot, push the floor away, then come all the way up as you breathe in, interlace the fingers behind the base of the skull. Now, I want you to go ahead and straighten that front leg. We're actually going to come into extended side angle, but first, pivot so that your heart faces the side. Rebend the front knee. And then just slowly, mindfully, keeping your hands behind the base of the skull at first, and finally depositing the right forearm down onto your thigh. Extended side angle, you can take any variation you want. If you want to keep working with the hand behind the base of the skull, it might help you tuck your chin and elongate the back of the neck. Or you can extend that top arm, or really take any other variation of this shape. Breathe 1. 2. Breathe for 3. Notice how the arm and the chest and the heart work together in this pose. Last breath cycle. And then go ahead and look forward and down, like forward a little past the front of your mat. We're going to take the Pravrita Ardha Chandrasana. So I want you to go ahead and bring the weight forward onto your right foot and your left hand. The left leg is straight. It's really like warrior 3. You can even check that your hips are square with your right hand on your sacrum, but then take your right arm up into the sky. This is a great one to have with the block on the left hand if you want that. Breathe 1. 2. So you're just kind of pushing in all directions. There's an energy inside you that's yearning in all directions. 3. 4. Find that energy and work with it, not against it. And 5. Great. Simply step the left foot next to the right. Continue twisting. Left arm outside of the right. Twist. Utkatasana twist to the right. 1. Breathe. 2. If you're feeling spunky and you want to do an arm balance or something like that, you could do that. I'm going to give you another chance to do something like that in a few minutes. Breathe for 4. Exhale, 5. Come all the way up, up, up. So unwind yourself coming up to Urdhva Hastasana, so the arms up, legs straight, looking up. And then as you exhale, go ahead and just dive over your legs. Hang over the legs and just let all that go. If you want to wiggle something out, you can. Maybe you want to flutter your lips or something like that. Let it all go. Then you're going to bend your knees, hook your thumbs, arms come straight in front of you, and then all the way up as you come to stand and you straighten your legs. Come forward again, bend the knees, belly on your thighs. Interlace your fingers behind your back, straighten your legs, drop your head, breathe out. Skier's pose, breathe in as you sit the hips back and down, reach the arms back, look a little forward on the floor. Right foot steps back as you breathe out, lower that knee. Hook your thumbs, inhale, reach up.
Take the hands down, sit your hips back. Runner's stretch, extending the front leg and flexing the foot. Folding over the left leg. Coming forward, low lunge as you breathe in, put the weight into the left foot, pick up your right leg in your chest, and then dive down over your left leg, standing split. Watch as the right foot lands. Warrior one, as you breathe in, come all the way up. Hands to the base of the skull, elbows wide, gaze lifted. Then straighten the front leg and shift your heart and your hips so they face the side. It's almost like we're coming into triangle, but now instead we're going to rebend the front knee. You might have to lengthen the stance as well. And then lower, lower, lower. Take your time. Left forearm comes down to the left thigh. The right hand at first is behind the base of the skull, helping remind me to tuck my chin slightly and keep all that length in the neck. And then if I want to do some kind of other variation with my arm, I can find that for myself. Breathing deeply. 2. Noticing how the shoulder, the arm, the chest, the head, the neck, how they all work as a team. One love moving between all of the parts, right? Cohering them, organizing them, harmonizing them. Last breath. And then turn your gaze down and forward until you can start to find your way to Pravritta Ardha Chandrasana. So you're shifting the weight into your left foot, your right hand. My right leg is now parallel to the ground. I want to make sure that that hip's coming straight out of the socket and I'm not askew, so my left hand can help. But then the left arm actually comes up toward the sky, ideally in alignment with my right arm. So we have to come kind of forward, especially if you were checking on your hips. Breathe 1, 2. Breathe. 3. Belong to something bigger. Doesn't just have to be you struggling, right? Breathe. 4. And 5. Then look down. Step the right foot next to the left. Sneak that right arm way out to the outside of the left leg, and then press your palms and spin your chest open. Breathing 1. Take a big breath. If you took an arm balance on the other side, you may do so here as well, of course. 2. 3. Breathe. 4. 5. Come all the way up. Big breath in. Reach up. Straight legs. Open heart. And then exhale, fold, dive over your legs. Go, 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 all the way forward, let it out. And then take the feet wide apart and come to a squat. If squat isn't the most comfortable position for you, that's fine. Just, you can either sit up on a block for a squat, or you can do something else. But what we're gonna do here is Kapalabhati breath. So I just wanna make sure that whichever seating situation you have, you can focus on your breath. So it doesn't wanna be too challenging. Grab a tissue if you need it. We'll be cleaning out the nasal passages. Take a deep breath in and a big breath out. Then inhale to a comfortable level and begin Kapalabhati, short, sharp exhales out of your nose. Keep going. So you're really expelling, right, on that exhale. The inhale kind of happens on its own. The exhale is where it's at in this. You should feel your bandhas bouncing, like your pelvic floor, your belly kind of bouncing to push the stale air out of the bottoms of our lungs, out of the corners of our cells. Cleaning ourselves out. Just a little longer here. And then slow it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the breath out, 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 out. Then take a big breath in. All the breath out and keep the exhale out. So this is a retention. So once you get all the breath out,
Engage your bandhas, slightly tuck your chin, close your eyes and gaze at your third eye and be an empty container with no stress about being empty. You'll be full again very soon, so you're not stressed. Relaxed, simple, and empty. And then big breath in. Let it come on, come in, come in, come in, come in. Let it go out, 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 out. And we're gonna do one more round. So if you need a different seating position or hand position, get comfortable. Last round of Kapalabhati. First big inhale, full exhale. Inhale to a comfortable level. And here we go. Sharp exhales out of the nose. You go at your pace. Finding the right rhythm is really important because once we have it, you can actually do this for a pretty long time, relaxed. If you can, close your eyes, gaze at your third eye, slightly tuck your chin. Now slow it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the breath out, out, out. Inhale all the way in. All the way out. Now inhale just to a comfortable level and you're gonna do a retention with a comfortable level of breath inside. So again, close your eyes, gaze at your third eye, engage your bandhas so you're kind of locked, but then you're soft. You're soft around the bandhas, right? You're soft around the edges of your skin. You're soft in your aura. If you can stay a little longer, please stay. When you need to breathe out, you can, but see if you can stay just a bit longer without stressing. And then breathe it out. Lifting your chin, breathe it out, 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 breathe it in. Beautiful, that wraps us up on that. You're gonna make your way to downward dog. If you wanna take a little vinyasa on your way, you can do that. From downward facing dog, we're gonna come into a pigeon pose. So you're gonna lift up your left leg and a big inhale. And you're gonna take that left knee inside of your left thumb on an exhale. Set that up really nicely. Use your props as you need. And then when you're ready, you'll come forward into pigeon. Forward folded pigeon, that is. There are different versions. This is the one that we tend to do the most around here. You can put something under the forehead if that helps, but I do want the head to be really heavy today. I want you to be able to really, really surrender. Feel your breath. What can you deliver over to something bigger? We'll be here another minute or so. So whatever fidgeting has been happening, can you just maybe give it a rest and just see what happens if you just let go now? And just let the wisdom of the body heal you. Let the beneficent forces of the universe tie you back together lovingly.
In other words, get out of your own way, right? And allow yourself to be taken care of. We're gonna move out of this just really nice and slow. You can walk your hands back and then what I would love for you to do, actually, we're gonna stay seated and you're just gonna take this right leg around for Janu Shirshasana. So you should still be facing the same direction, just now your left leg will go inside of your right thigh. I'll show it this way in case that's helpful. And then you're gonna let your chest take a little twist over toward the right, and then you're gonna fold over that right leg, and you'll stay here forward folded over that leg, breathing 5 breaths. For 1. Breathing 2. Let the breath heal you. 3. Four. And 5. You're gonna come all the way up. We've got one more little moment here, just a simple one. And what you're gonna do is take your left hand back behind you. You're gonna end up propping yourself up onto your left knee and your right foot. You should hopefully still be able to see me in front of you there. And then the right arm can go alongside the ear. And just kind of like we did in the beginning, just move that arm. You can just move it however you want. And we'll just spend about 3 more breaths here. Just really loving up and exploring the mobility of your shoulder. And then finding your way back to sit and back into downward dog as gracefully as you can. And then lift up your right leg and take a big in breath. Take your right knee forward inside of your right wrist as you breathe out. Set up pigeon pose, doing whatever you need to do to make that work. And then pouring the weight of the heart forward out of the hips and breathing. Give yourself permission to fully arrive into the shape, taking as much time as you need. It's okay to fidget at first. But then the adjusting, if that's what you want to call it, starts to happen on a subtler level. So the fidgeting of the physical body starts to settle, and then suddenly the breath we find can go in, and the breath starts to make space. Starts to clear away old stuff we don't need in the body anymore. It starts to invite in and replace the toxins with what it invites in, right? This fresh oxygen, fresh energy, fresh life. Allow yourself to belong to this process without having to be its operator, right? The one in control of the process. Allow yourself to really slowly come on up. You can lean over to the right side and you should be able to sweep that left leg around pretty easily, hopefully, and set up Janu Shirshasana, the seated forward fold. where one knee is, my right knee is out to the side, my left leg is straight. My heart lifts as I twist a little to the left, and then I'll fold over the left leg and breathe here for 1, 2, breathe for 3, 4, and 5. Coming all the way up to sit. So here's how we're gonna set up this last pose in this little sequence. Your right hand will come back, so it's actually pointing away from the front of your mat, probably away from your computer. And then the right knee comes under the right hip. And I'm in this side stretch, and the left arm reaches. And I just wanna explore one more time today. I just wanna explore one more time the mobility in my left shoulder and just the relationships between the arm, shoulder, chest, neck, head, ribs. One more big breath cycle, just playing with whatever you're playing with there, feeling this embodiment, feeling all the space that you've made in this last almost hour. And then coming all the way to sit down. And actually, before you come onto your back, actually I want to give you a choice now. You can choose one inversion to do or arm balance to do. So if you want something a little more uplifting, of course, you could do handstand or forearm stand or crow or some kind of arm balance. If you want something more relaxing, you can just lie on your back and either come all the way into shoulder stand, right? Or you could just have your legs in the air for something really chill. Whatever variation you choose to do, I'm just going to give you a minute, not a crazy amount of time. But as always, if you ever get excited about something that we're working on and we don't have enough time, that's just mark it for yourself and do it on your own. Reach out to me if you have questions, of course, or want a tutorial on something, I'll make it for you. Spend a few more breath cycles, whatever you're working on. Before meeting me in in a reclined position on your back, okay? So wherever you came from, reclined position on your back. And this next moment is also a choose your own adventure. I want you to choose one final pose that's very relaxing for you or that feels like it's gonna prepare you for the end of class. You also you have your ball probably nearby. You could also do some rolling out if that feels like it would be really nice before Shavasana. I'm gonna let everything get pretty quiet. And I want you to just find your way over the next few breath cycles into the most comfortable position you could possibly be in on your back. And then let the breath slow down. Let the edges of your skin soften. The reason why these meditative practices are so important is because we need to be able to slow down, quiet down, to be able to perceive the substance of life, which is this love, which is this energy. So the quieter we get here in Shavasana, the easier it is for love to become tangible, felt, experienced again. The funny thing is, it was always here. This is what we were looking for. This is what we've been working so hard to find and experience. The funny part is it just required us to stop, just to stop long enough to realize that it's always been here. This love is what started the journey, and it's what's waiting for us when we come home. If you are ready to start to come to sit, you can. If you'd rather stay resting a little longer, please do. When you do feel ready, just make sure you move very slowly. See if you can stay in touch with that subtle experience of love inside, so that it's the love that wakes you up, not the ego or the will. Maybe it's the ice cream man that wakes you up, I don't know. And let's just take a moment with the hands in front of the heart or on the heart to close. You can join me in one Om if you want, but please do just get in touch with the love that brought you here, the love which truly moves everything in this universe. Bowing down to the love inside of you and inside of all beings everywhere. Om Bola Shri Satguru Mata Devi.